Interesting thing about frogs. Frogs never lie. You didn't know that, did you? Frogs never lie. Be a second, right? Okay.
Frogs never lie. Sometimes Jones always says that. Frogs never lie. You know why? Because there's one time sometimes Jones wasn't having any luck hitchhiking whatsoever. He walked along this country road all day. He hadn't passed a house, a gas station. His shoes hurt, his feet were killing him. He's walking in the hot sun, and not one car would stop. He even tried sex. And his attempts to please. And he didn't know where he was anymore. His feet ached. He was beat. He just wanted to take a quick nap. And when he woke up, he tried to figure out where the hell he was. He looked around, he noticed the road led nowhere in either direction. So he took another sip of warm beer.
Excuse me, but would you kiss me on the mouth, please?
Jones looks down. He sees a frog on the road in front of him.
I have to be kissed on the mouth by a human male before 3:30 this afternoon, or I'll have to stay like this for another week.
Well, that should be worth something, says Jones.
What do you mean?
And Jones goes, I mean like 3 wishes and a new pair of shoes.
Look, this isn't a fairy tale. This is real life. I'm not a princess. I'm just a normal person like you who got turned into a frog, and a kiss in the mouth will turn me back. What's so difficult?
What about germs and weird frog diseases?
Oh, come on. You're not going to turn this into some weird male lizard brain power trip.
What if I kissed you and you turned into a monster and you ate me?
What is your problem?
Okay, I kiss you on the lips and you don't turn into anything. You stay a frog and I turn into a fucking putz.
God, what's the problem?
Okay,
Just a kiss. It's not like I'm asking you for commitment. If you kiss me, I'll tell you the secret of getting a ride.
First tell me, says Jones.
If you make your next hitchhiking sign inside a mental institution, cars will stop for you. Frogs never lie. Okay, plus 2 wishes. But you gotta kiss me on the lips.
So Jones goes, okay, if one more car passes me by, I'm kissing a frog.
Hey, I'm running out of time. Please. Just kiss me first, please. 2 wishes.
So Jones stands up.
Hey, I'm running out of time, please. God, okay, 3 wishes and shoes. 3 wishes and a pair of comfortable new shoes.
The car doesn't stop. Doesn't even slow down. Jones can't believe it. It's his worst nightmare. The only car he's seen all day not only refuses to stop, but it also squashes his 2 wishes, plus a possible fiancée. So now Jones swears that he's not only going to get a ride, but he's going to get a ride from a car that refuses to stop. Sometimes Jones figured out that if he suspended a small noose of rope at a certain height above a particular kind of road surface, and if he attached the other end of the rope to the front of a skateboard, and if he got on it, and if a particular type of car passed over the noose at a certain particular speed, the rope would catch beneath the chassis. This way, Jones figured he'd be able to catch a ride without the car slowing down, or even the car's driver ever even knowing he's there. Boom! He landed on his tailbone. But Jones wasn't discouraged. He was obsessed. He wanted revenge. So he made some adjustments. He was tenacious. He kept the good, got rid of the bad, reassessed the plan, rethought basic design features, simplified. And he came up with a completely integrated, unitized system. And it worked. Not only did he have his first ride in 72 hours, he had a potential moneymaker. I mean, the least he could do was sell a few hundred sets to hitchhikers in motel rooms all across America who were watching TV late at night with a credit card and nothing to do. Now he starts to think about distribution, marketing strategies, different colored wheels, which gets him to thinking maybe he forgot something. Jones had completely forgotten about stopping. Oh, man. And he finally started to get discouraged. Oh. The last straw was when one car finally did actually stop for him. It turned out to be a car full of lazy pickpockets. Then they just left him, standing there with no ID and no money on the side of this weird road between nowhere and East Jabip, and his feet was still killing him. At that very moment, at the edge of a high cliff, right across the road from where Jones was held up, there was this really nice guy who was just about to jump off this 300-foot cliff. So Jones goes over to the guy right away, and he asks the guy if he has any spare change. And he also asks about the guy's shoes. All of a sudden, this really nice guy starts to get all bent out of shape and weird, so Jones just stands there and listens to this really nice guy tell him about how he hates his life, how he just retired last year, and all he does now is take his car into the garage to be fixed and drop his wife off at the different meetings, and then pick her up afterwards, and he just found out his son maxed out all his credit cards, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And then Jones happens to look down, and he sees this note laying on the ground, so he picks it up. And it's the really nice guy's suicide note. So he reads it. And he thinks it's kind of corny, you know. So he tells the guy this. And the really nice guy starts to get all bent out of shape again. He just really wants to be left alone, you know. So, okay, fine. So Jones backs off, and he pulls out a pencil, and he adds just a simple social statement. You know, nothing complex, at the end of the note. Save the whales and screw the police. Well, the nice guy completely takes it the wrong way, and he starts to get really bent out of shape again. And he's just about to get into it with Jones when out of nowhere, the guy's wife drives up in a station wagon and asks the guy to please take the car into the shop because the motor's pinging again, and could he drop her off at their son's apartment on the way. So now Jones and the guy exchange phone numbers, and they say they'll call each other, and the really nice guy drives away, arguing with his wife about which garage to take it to and what they're going to wear that evening, when somebody says, "Pardon me, sir." A cop found Jones' bag lying over by the edge of the cliff, along with the guy's suicide note. Now, Jones says the bag is his, but the note isn't. But when the cop reads it and reads what Jones had written in his own handwriting at the end of the note, the cop takes Jones in and has him committed to the county mental institution for a mandatory 3 days of observation on suspicion of trying to commit suicide. And while Jones was in the mental institution, he built himself a hitchhiking sign which actually does stop all the cars. And that's why sometimes Jones always says, "Frogs never lie." The end.